Hello and welcome back to M and BH Offline, where we take a step back and discuss our best moments, future plans, and anything else from our favorite game. I'm M Tabu, and this is my co-host BH.
Yippee!
Yep, that's almost how you say your name.
Oh, you said my name for me.
Yippee! Yippee! That's how you say BH. That's how you say BH in Australian.
Yeah, exactly. Upside down language, right?
Yeah. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about like finding inspiration and creative process. So we've talked about like similar stuff in terms of motivation and everything, but not really specifically on like how we find inspiration when we have an idea or when we need to get an idea.
I think we're good. I think, well, like inspiration comes in a lot of different forms. We were kind of brainstorming yesterday about like episodes and stuff like that. And I think we both are going to have very different ways of finding inspiration because
Yes.
you are very much a builder. I'm very much a storyteller. I think there'll be very interesting ways that how we find our own
Variety.
inspiration.
Yeah.
So first thing, what kind of movies or books or poems or kind of like, I guess, pop culture, if that's the right word, inspires us?
Yeah. Well, like as you said before, we have to get inspired for different things. So we have different reasons to to find inspiration. So mine's for builds. So when it comes to pop culture and everything, like movies, we'll go specifically with movies. I'm looking at architecture, I'm looking at color, general like vibe, I guess. You know, if it's something that's more dark and stormy or, you know, horror themed or something, you know, a lot more bright and colorful, like La La Land or something.
Yeah.
I'm looking more at those kinds of elements when I'm watching a movie to get inspired for a build in the future. Whereas I think you're looking at something a lot different.
Yeah, I come much more from like, I get a lot of inspiration from, I think, music, but also cinema. I'm not someone that watches a lot of movies, which is really interesting for someone that makes such movie inspired content, you could say. But when I do watch movies, I end up looking, or I realized myself that I spend more time thinking about shots and cinematography and like camera stuff rather than watching the actual movie, which is not great.
So not even like the story specifically or necessarily, it's more like the composition.
Yeah, exactly. Like seeing a shot and being like, that is gorgeous. I want to do something like that. I remember back when Backyard, I did this series about this bank and I had this episode which was really like dark themed and like a bit more mature, and I remember it was based off of the John Wick franchise because I had watched the first movie and was like, I loved this scene where it was like the camera was following the back of the main character and really tight, intimate shots. And I got a whole video and series out of that, which I think was really cool. But I think, tell me more about how your like architecture stuff kind of comes together.
Yeah, well, I haven't actually watched John Wick, so I've definitely not used that as inspiration before. But when I'm watching, like specifically Lord of the Rings, that's one I did recently, or The Hobbit. Sorry, not even Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
there was a scene in it which was when Smaug goes into the building and like a molten gold statue falls over the dragon and it changes the whole abandoned hall to like have a golden shiny floor, and I loved that looked so cool. There was it had such a cool feeling of like the contrast between the decrepit building and, you know, the rich molten gold floor. It was really cool. And so that was something that I was like, oh, I need to build that in Minecraft.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess the composition and everything is something that would have helped.
Yeah.
But it wasn't something I thought about necessarily when building.
That's fair enough.
But yeah.
I've got a bit of a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever been inspired to do a video or a build because of music?
Yeah, so many.
Yeah.
Majority of my builds are from music. I think the green lung build I did recently,
Hmm.
which I explained in the video, but I was listening to Porchlight by Noah Kahan, and that was like on repeat. And then
Yeah.
there was a wave build with a wave hitting a house. Listen to Waves. Who would have thought? By Dean Lewis, like 7 hours straight while I was building that. I
Yeah,
was
right.
like, it just, it hit just like an inspirational part in my brain, which I was like, I need to build something. I've got an idea. And then putting it on repeat just like reinforced it, got me locked in. It was
Yeah.
so random, but worked very well. What about you?
I don't know. I listen to the radio a lot because I don't have any kind of premium music streaming software thing, whatever subscription. So yeah, I get a lot of ads. So rather than that, I listen to the radio, which means I get to listen to a lot of different music, which is kind of cool. And I'll be driving home from work or something like that. And it's always like only a couple of beats or a couple of like seconds of a song, but I hear it and I go like, my God, I need to use that, or that feels
Stop the
like this
car.
scene or something like that. And it's like, yeah, it's so interesting to be able to like almost see a video pan out just from listening to a song. There's one song that I've been playing on repeat for quite some time, and I want to use it in a trailer. And every time I listen to the song, I can like visualize the whole video,
Yeah.
but I just haven't made it yet.
You gonna share the song or do we have to guess?
What's the song name? Hang on. I forgot.
That's a crazy name for a song.
Yeah. So it's a great song. It'll just happen at some point. It'll be a part of a trailer and people won't know because I won't mention it, but I will know.
All right, you'll know.
Now,
yeah, music's kind of a weird one where it's just random. Yeah, you'll listen to a song and it'll just hit like it's like a light bulb kind of switches on. Yeah.
It's really interesting. I wonder how how the brain makes those connections to give you the inspiration.
To ask a neurologist.
I don't know. If you're a neurologist, call in on. We don't have a.
Call in on our number that we definitely have.
Point. Yeah. But I've got a little fun story for you. Now.
Okay.
Em and I went traveling together for quite some time, and
I think I know this story.
On our way back, we were sitting in the Rome airport for about 6 hours, and you made me download Pinterest.
I did. No, you wanted to as well.
That's true.
Was a mutual decision.
Yes. But I downloaded Pinterest, and you made me like, I don't know what it's called, like a board.
A board.
Yeah. You made me a board. I never once looked at it.
Okay, well, that's kind of rude, straight off. I'm not gonna lie. No.
But I wanted to ask you, in terms
other things I could
of
do.
Pinterest and maybe more like image libraries and stuff like that, how do you use something like that to get your inspiration?
Yeah, well, Pinterest specifically, it is something you have to spend a really long time to curate your feed. Like, I think it took me a few months at least to curate my feed, for it not to be random stuff.
Yeah.
And you need to use an ad blocker as well. My God, you can't go onto Pinterest without an ad blocker. That's horrible. And then the only downside as well, lots of AI images, which kind of pollute the homepage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've curated my Pinterest quite a lot. I've got many a boards. I've got many a stuff on my Pinterest. And I don't know, like some days I'll look at it and there'll be so many things which I'm like, yes, I want to build that. Yes, I want to build that. Yes, I want to build that.
Yeah.
But then there'll be weeks where there's just nothing that kind of hits. It's very random. And we were talking about music before. And honestly, sometimes when I'm trying to find inspiration, listening to a song while I'm scrolling through my Pinterest feed will help,
Oh yeah.
you know, visualize, I guess, how I should feel when I'm looking at an image, or how I want to feel.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very different. I find it's best to find, you need to make a board for the builds, or at least like a collection of images. But at least Pinterest is pretty good at finding similar stuff. Like
Yeah.
if you want to build a green tree, you can find a green tree you like and then scroll down and find a few others and use a composition of those like 5 images to make something.
Yeah, something really interesting that I've kind of gotten myself in this kind of rabbit hole recently is interior design, as well as like just general design itself. And so a lot of my like, you know, social media feed is about interior design or like marketing design or stuff like this. I actually watched this really, I don't know why, I watched this really incredible video on, it was like the signs and marketing that you see in like the most recent Mario Kart game. Really random, right? Really well, really well put together video. And seeing the design principles in all of like literally like just assets you would see littered around a video game map was really cool to see. Like all of like Mario characters had their own brand that they had like put around each of the maps as like advertisements. And that was really weird. Now, kind of side story to that is I saw this reel that took me to a website where you can download like really creative fonts.
And you got a virus.
I did not get a virus. I was responsible in my Google searching. But I found this typeface or like this font that was just gorgeous. And I wanted to use it so much, but I just didn't have a reason for it. And I like have my font face that I use for my regular Minecraft videos and like the titles. And I was like, where am I going to use this? I ended up using it in a uni presentation. And I tell you what, my presentation was absolutely gorgeous.
Just because of that font?
It was incredible. Like I was so happy with how it turned out.
Virus.
Worth the virus, yeah, for sure. But I think what's weird is that you can get inspiration from the strangest spots. And I find that if I'm looking for inspiration, I will never get it. It can only come to me when I have just out of the blue, completely out of the blue. Is that something you find the same?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. When scrolling through Pinterest, I can't be looking for something specifically. Like, you know, I have to be listening to music and just passively scrolling, and then hopefully I'll come across something. But yeah, if you have the idea in your mind that you're like, oh, I want to build this exactly, you know, you're not going to find something.
Yeah, exactly. It took me the longest time to compose this like song or track for one of my events, because it probably took me about a month or 2, just because I was so focused on trying to find a melody that I wanted to use and like figure one out that I wanted to use repeatedly. And I was listening to all these songs and trying to find inspiration everywhere. And it just did not happen until I started singing the Bold and the Beautiful theme. And now I have a song.
And then
then
it hits. Yeah, well, even one of my more recent videos where I did the building an art, and I did a drawing before, you know, making somebody else's. That drawing, it took me so long to make, because I went through about 7 or 8 different drafts of completely different things. And I was listening to music, I was trying to get inspired, I was allocating time, but it just wasn't working because I was trying to get inspired, because I was, you know, I had a time limit and I was forcing myself to get this done. Like the creative process, it just couldn't work under those conditions.
Yeah, exactly. I actually watched that video a while ago when it came out, actually. And it was really interesting to see the art process of going from, I think you did a couple of like portraits to bits and pieces here and there, like different art styles, just to get to the point of having a build, even though you might have started with a completely different medium. That was really interesting to see.
Yeah. Thank you. There was lots of different things I had to go through before I
Hmm.
settled on an idea.
Yeah. And making art is something that we probably both do, maybe not as our main source of like creative outlet, but I know I grew up doing a lot of art and found more recently I've been doing art in the sense of like Twitch emotes. And I've really found a really fun little style for making my own emotes. And it's so fun to be able to just like be like, oh, that'll be a fun idea. It's like me sleeping or something like that. And just like draw it up and publish it and have it as like a little emote. That's something I've been finding. It's been a little bit interesting.
Yeah, I think that's kind of, I don't know, it reminds me of Recjaw. There's little, I guess, like doodles or sketches, but
Yeah.
in different mediums, of course.
Yeah.
Recjaw was always showing me like his little, he'd call them doodles or sketches.
Yeah.
And they're like incredible builds that were just not colored,
Yeah.
but he'd just make hundreds of them and would just decide whether he wanted to continue with them.
Yeah.
But he was just doing it for fun, for the creative process.
Exactly.
And I mean, I was doing when you're saying interior design, I was doing some floor plans. I got so inspired by floor plans for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to make like really cool houses with cool floor plans. And that was kind of my break from big builds, big projects, my doodles and sketches.
Yeah.
Just, being able to log on and passively make something and go, that's a good floor plan, and never put it anywhere else. Just go, yep.
Yeah, I remember you sending me a couple of those floor plans, and I was like, damn, these are cool. I like these.
There's a good floor plan. So yeah, it's kind of like the Twitch emotes are a bit like your little doodles and sketches.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
a little passive thing to pass the time, enjoyment.
Yeah, I actually drew a doodle of my girlfriend the other day, and she's like, you need to add this to your Twitch emotes because this is so cute.
Was it awesome?
So it was actually, I was very happy with it. So I think I'll need to render that up eventually when I get the chance to. But I am looking through our notes here, and there's something that I was going to bring up, but you've already written it down there, is when do ideas come? And for me, it always seems to happen when I'm falling asleep.
Yes.
It's like, I don't know what it's up with that, but it's like I'm trying to fall asleep and my brain's just firing away. And then all of a sudden I get hit with this like crazy idea. And I'm like, I need to write this down. And so I roll over with my sleepy eyes and I type it out on my notes app. And it's usually spelled awfully wrong and a mess. And I look at it the next morning and I go, yes, this is exactly what I needed. Sometimes it's the voice note, and the voice notes are even better, but like these ideas always seem to come right before I go to sleep, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have the same thing randomly, or like I'm starting to drift off, or I've just, put my phone away to go to bed and go, I've got an idea, quickly. Yeah. I need to do it.
Yeah.
Should we share a couple of, do you have your notes app? Should we share a couple of?
Yeah, actually, we can do that. We can pull them out.
Let me have a look. Mine are a bit cursed.
It's been quite some time. Oh yeah, okay. All right. Which one? This is one of my ideas. This is quite some time ago, yeah? Quite some time.
Yeah.
But I was thinking of a mini game for Backyard, and it was a lazy river where people would have a creeper in a boat behind them, but targeting someone else. So like I would be in a boat with a creeper behind me, and it would be targeting you, and it's a matter of who can get around the course without their creeper blowing up.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That would be stressful.
It would be awfully stressful. And I don't know how I would like lock in on each other, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, hit me with one of yours.
Okay, well you have way more coherent ones. I've got two on this notes app section. Painting build looking thing with, in all caps, a smudge on it for effect.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's meant.
That's so helpful, right? So helpful. Here's one
Cyclone build with weather colors, like on a radar, but 3D. There you go. Those are the two of my notes. No, I didn't. I just had the idea.
Oh, yeah. Here's one that's a little bit not as great, This is Light from Below Kappa. Now, Kappa is a shader that I've been using for quite some time. And I was at my girlfriend's, she was playing in a band, she was performing, and it was all lit from below from these like LED, like basically like a dance floor, but you can think of it like that. And I was like, oh, this would look sick as a like scene where like the ground lights up from below. And Kappa has this really nice shading that I actually ended up using in my Days End series, where I had the entire world, like it was pitch black and the entire world shifted across to have this lighting up from underneath. And it was such a cool effect. It took so long to make work, but it was right at that like pinnacle point of the series, and I just absolutely loved it.
Yeah, that is good. That's a good idea. That's panned out.
Yeah. Last kind of thing we wanted to talk about was some creators that give you inspiration. What kind of people do you like watching? Maybe Minecraft creators, not Minecraft creators. Who gives you the inspiration to build?
Oh, okay.
I can go
Definitely a
first.
few. Yeah, you go first. I need to have a little suss through my YouTube recommended really quick to just make sure I'm getting the right names.
Yeah. I very recently watched Leon SBU's Skyblock Kingdoms finale, and he had some incredible lore on there, and I absolutely loved it. I was frothing it. I was absolutely taking it in because it was really, really well done. And I was chatting to him afterwards, and he was saying that although he had lore go from all the way through a season, which was really tricky because you'd have people coming in and out of like watching the start and not watching the start and missing pieces here and there. But it means that it is tricky to make lore that is coherent for everyone. And at the end, he was just like, I'm just going to full send it. I'm going to absolutely go for it. And what he did was just incredible. Being able to see all of the lore come through in that was really, really well done. Another creator that is a little bit smaller, they had this very roleplay story-based series about surviving in like this wastelanded city. And I think it was something like Ambipotent or something like that. And they did an incredible job of making the whole thing feel really well cohesive. The story was really like tightly put together. There were some really interesting characters, and the whole atmosphere of it being in like this really abandoned city was super, super cool. But there are some creators that have really been inspiring me recently.
No, there's definitely been quite a few. I watch a lot of documentaries, and they'll be like on different, like very weird, broad stuff. Nature documentaries as well. There was a David Attenborough one I watched recently.
Yeah.
Which was on Life That Glows. And that was on YouTube. I don't know if it was on anything else, but I watched on YouTube. And it was just like underwater creatures or forest creatures that glow, like insects or animals. And that was just, I was like, oh, I want to build something glowing.
Yeah.
I want to do that. I watch music videos as well. Dirt by Emery, with very small artist, but I loved that music video. It was like a bunch of different tiles.
Yeah.
It was kind of stop motion-y, and the tiles, so it was like 6 tiles on the screen and they would move.
Yeah.
And they had like rabbits and stuff etched into it. So it looked like rabbits were hopping in stop motion. And it was so pretty. And the like lyrics and everything, like it fits so well. And I was like, I want to make something like that. Like that. It was just so pretty to watch. And I was inspired to make something after that.
Yeah.
There was a couple other creators which I was trying to find, but I can't quite find them at the moment. But there was a few of them that I watched, and they had just such a distinct visual style of their editing. Yeah. And I loved it. There was one, it was a largest art collab, and it's been going on for a few years, and it's been one big book, and they've been going around to different YouTubers and getting them to fill it up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they went through, like, this creator for one of them, they went through some of the art that had gone through, and I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool, that's such a good idea, and that's so pretty."
Hmm.
And that inspired me to do some some art, some drawing, and getting inspired for some building as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't find any creators right now specifically. But yeah, there's definitely a few that I've been looking at.
Yeah. Honorable mention would be Arrington. I recently jumped into one of his streams, and I was actually amazed at the visual effects that he had put into his streams. I've been doing a lot more recently where I have been adding cinematics and stuff to my streams, which has been really, really cool.
Yeah.
But seeing, like, he's got this VHS filter that he has running over a stream, and like when he goes into free cam, it goes into like a, what's it called? Like a kind of like handheld camera type vibe, which is really, really, really cool to see. And those like visual effects on stream has been really fun to mess around with.
Yeah, I love watching some of the stream elements and all the process that he puts through.
Oh yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, really incredible to see.
I just found the videos that I'm looking for. So we're going to go through 3 of the ones that inspired me recently. Can't say any video specific it inspired, but it inspired me to make something. Beau Miles, which is an Aussie creator. He does lots of travel stuff, specifically about rivers. The way he does storytelling, the way he formats everything, it's just so like beautiful to watch. His content is just incredible. I really like his stuff, and he's so down to earth. Like his just vibe and everything, amazing. Another one was a specific video called "A Skill We Stopped Teaching," and it was by Sam Hamper. Again, a little, not necessarily tiny creator, but a bit smaller. He did a video that was talking about how we've stopped looking and enjoying, and he was talking about how he looks at things. He decides to just draw something.
Yeah.
So he'll randomly go, "Oh, this tree's kind of nice," but he'll sit and draw it. So that way he notices things.
Yeah.
So he notices how the leaves looks. And he was talking about how we've kind of stopped looking. We stopped looking at things. We just rush past things. We decide to get somewhere. We want the output, but we're not looking at where we're going.
Yeah.
And then the last video was it was about bogs. It was like a nature, not documentary. It was a bunch of biologists, and they were going across a bog, and they were looking at specific plants and identifying them and animals and all that. And they were explaining the history. They had these edits between, which were like kind of sketches and all sorts. And they were just incredible. Like, it looked so cool. Everybody was having a great time. The camera they used was such great quality, and the close-ups and the information dumps on each specific mushroom or plant that they came across was lovely. I really liked that. And all 3 of those videos I watched in the same week period, and I was like, I need to make something. I need to make a video.
I've got too much creativity to get out.
Yeah, there was so much of it. They were awesome. I loved all of it.
That's so good. Yeah, well, I think we've covered quite a bit in terms of inspiration. I think biggest takeaway for me is that you can't really force it. It'll just happen. But it's been really interesting to see how we might have different ways of approaching getting inspiration. And as well as like, we have both very different content styles. So seeing how they might differ in terms of inspiration. Yeah.
No, it's definitely been good. I feel like, we need to go get inspired now.
Yeah, I feel like I gotta get inspired. Gotta go make something now. All right. Well, it's time to go make something. And you too, listeners out there, you better go make something. Go make something cool.
And now our greatest outro. So
our greatest outro. My name is BH, and this is my co-host,
Chamu. It's me.
And we are BhOffline.
BhOffline.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. See you.